What's better to wake up to in the morning than a nice cup of coffee? How about a physics lesson? Except this lesson isn't about what's inside the cup, it's about what's underneath it. A coffee stain. To most, it's a nuisance, destroying household surfaces all over the place. But to a physicist, it's a great example of a really cool effect known as the coffee ring effect. I should probably clean that up before my mom sees.
So what is the coffee ring effect? It's a phenomenon in which particles suspended in a liquid are deposited in higher concentrations along the edges of a drop or puddle of the mixture as the liquid evaporates, instead of remaining evenly distributed as they were in the mixture. Though it seems like a pretty simple process, the explanation as to why this occurs requires an understanding of a few key concepts of physics and physical properties. First, we need to know what colloids and suspensions are. A colloid is a homogeneous or evenly distributed mixture of solid particles in a liquid matrix in which the suspended particles don't settle. A suspension is similar, but the particles eventually settle. With that being said, if a puddle or droplet of a colloid or suspension is left out, the liquid will disappear and the solid particles will stay behind because of the differences in the energy levels of each substance. Liquids have more movement in their molecules than solids. Because of this, molecules of liquid are more likely to collide and transfer energy. When a molecule accumulates enough energy, it changes from a liquid to a gas. This is known as evaporation and, unlike boiling, requires no added energy. While the liquid evaporates, the solid remains where the puddle was. But wait, shouldn't the suspended particles stay where they were when the liquid evaporated? How do they get to the edges? Well, since we're talking about coffee, let's talk about cookies too. When you bake a cookie, what happens? The edges cook faster and get crispy, while the center stays gooey and soft. That's because the edges have more surface area exposed for heat transfer to take place. This applies to droplets and puddles as well. The edges of a puddle which have more exposed surface area than the center will evaporate sooner. As the liquid at the edges evaporates, it's replaced by more liquid from the center, carrying its own suspended particles with it to the edge. When all of the liquid evaporates, you're left with an accumulation of deposits at the edges of the area and a low concentration of particles towards the center, giving you the coffee ring effect. So why is this so important? Though it may just seem like a fun fact, the coffee ring effect has some truly amazing applications, as it's a way to separate particles by size that requires little to no added energy. One application is in identifying bacteria and other dangerous bodies in water. Many microbes have different sizes and are therefore variably susceptible to being carried by water. This is especially important for resource-deficient areas of the world given its low energy requirements, as it would provide a better chance of clean water to those who need it most. In the age-old search for a way to ensure everyone has the resources they need to survive, we may just find our answer in the coffee ring effect. Who knew a coffee break could be so educational?